Armchair Cinema. This week we're talking about Snow White.
Hey.
Maren, what did you think of Snow White?
Well, it was one of the Disney live-action remakes, and despite all the controversy, it was a quite expected affair and didn't do anything that broke the mold too much. And I mean, it did all the things you expect a Disney live-action remake to do. It had all the same designs as the original movie, and yeah.
You didn't see it either, did you?
No, I didn't see it.
What did we see? We saw The Day the Earth Blew Up.
Yep.
Maren, what did you think of The Day the Earth Blew Up?
Well, there's a fun fact I want to let y'all know first, if you don't already. This is the first 2D animated Looney Tunes movie.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's been 90-something years, and this is the first time they've ever decided to put a 2D animated Looney Tunes movie in theaters, and it's been a long time coming. This was a joy to watch for every second. It was a Looney Tunes short for an hour and a half, and it was perfect.
It was everything I wanted out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
I didn't come and expect. I didn't come in wanting something that was going to nudge, wink me and say something kind of cynical about it, like cartoons. Ha! Yeah. Old cartoons used to be weird. No, it doesn't do that. It's a Looney Tunes cartoon that plays it very, very straight.
Yep. It is as I said, an hour and a half Looney Tunes short. It even sticks to the formula like glue. It's not because when you watch those old Looney Tunes shorts, you have one or two characters, generally. And the one or two characters have a very defined, very clear dynamic. And that dynamic is explored throughout the runtime of the short. It's just Daffy and Porky. Well, and Petunia, but she's very much a side character. It is Daffy and Porky the whole way through, and they have a very well-defined dynamic that is well explained at the very beginning, with a very fun montage. And oh my god, Farmer Jim has got to be like the funniest not funny character I've ever seen.
Can we talk about him for a second? Because I feel like Farmer Jim will want us to acknowledge him.
Yes.
Because Farmer Jim is, I guess, the father figure that everyone wishes that they had.
Farmer Jim is a child's idea of a parent, and it does such a good job at that. He's this deific figure who's not even animated like all the rest of the characters.
He's hardly animated at all.
Exactly.
That's a joke. That's a joke they keep going with in the movie, and it works well.
It's like they cut him out of a 1950s food advertisement. Like a vegetable, like a Jolly Green Giant kind of food company mascot. They just cut out and paste it into the frame, and only his mouth or eyes animate. There's like one or two points where they do have him being fully animated, but it's for a couple very important moments that are meant to stick out in your mind.
And for the rest of the time, he's animated like he's on a single cell, like he's a single frame, and they keep just kind of moving it around. And that's hilarious. You have to understand animation to get that joke. And and as soon as you get it, it's the funniest joke.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. So he serves this role of being Porky and Daffy's father figure. And so just having him be this deified, perfect being who dispenses sage advice and then mysteriously vanishes. He just walks off into the sunset.
For no apparent reason either, just the fact that the plot doesn't need him anymore.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's everything it needed to be. And he's only in the movie for like just about as long as we've been talking about it.
And that's all we needed from him.
It's beautiful.
Such a perfect figure that we only need him for a few minutes and then he's gone, and we're okay with that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah. Anyway, the movie is about Porky and Daffy.
So now would be a good time that we get into the plot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. A meteor crashed to Earth and took out their roof, leaving a bunch of green slime. And they need to get the roof repaired, or the HOA are going to kick them off their property or something. I don't know how HOAs work.
That's pretty much how they work.
Yeah, okay. That really sucks. Seriously, fuck HOAs. So they, need to get jobs, and we have a nice montage where they're trying out a bunch of different jobs, and of course Daffy screws it up because Daffy is Daffy.
And might I add, he's not just the Daffy that plays off of Bugs Bunny that's jealous and kind of vindictive. This is Daffy as he has been in earlier cartoons where he was just wacky and he was all over the place going, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo.
Yes, this is classic Daffy, this is classic Porky, this is all the characters in their original form, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yes.
So anyway, they, still down on their luck, at a diner, meet Petunia Pig, who is a flavor scientist at the nearby gum factory. And she's very disappointed in the mass-produced, regurgitated flavors of the what was the gum company called? Whatever the gum company was called.
It just now occurred to me that that's a meta commentary.
Oh my god, you didn't pick up on that right away?
Up.
Yeah, no, it's totally a meta commentary. Throughout the movie, she's complaining about how bland and uninspired all these gum flavors are.
These rebooted gum flavors.
She even uses the term reboot.
Yes.
It's great. So she says, if you want to do something really, bold that'll blow people's mind, you gotta experiment and innovate. And I'm like, God, the poor writers and animators were just begging us to see this movie, and no one's saying it. See this movie.
They get jobs at this gum factory with the help of Petunia.
With help of Petunia.
And they're actually good at this job.
Yes, because all they gotta do is push a button and pull a crank.
And that's when the green goo that they find that comes into play, and we discover an alien conspiracy with the chewing gum.
Yes, there's a scientist who wanders on who has been watching the skies and saw the meteor fall, investigated, and he got possessed by the green slime. And he brings the green slime to the factory and dumps it into the new flavor vat. Right on the day of the big gum rollout, the big new flavor rollout.
And you might be thinking this is a really dumb plot. You might be thinking this is really simple, but you know what? Good. It is.
It's the Looney Tunes.
What else are you expecting?
It's beautiful, and I love it. So Porky and Petunia have this whole budding relationship going on, and Daffy's kind of fucking it up.
The dynamic between Porky and Daffy comes into play because Farmer Jim, God bless his soul, told them to stick together and to watch out for the house. And here in both Porky and Daffy are kind of fucking that up.
Yeah. They're kind of driving each other apart because Daffy's kind of, screwing things up, and Porky is, not taking it terribly well either. Kind of kicks him out of the factory. Their shift was over. It's okay. Yeah. And Daffy discovers that the gum, as it's being rolled out, is taking over people's minds and mind controlling them.
And doing wacky things to them.
And doing wacky things to them because it is the Looney Tunes.
And there's that one scene of Porky and Daffy, Daffy's trying to tell Porky that this gum is doing things to people, and he rips off all his feathers and gets in front of all the people and starts talking crazy about all this stuff. And Porky's like, please don't be Daffy, please don't be Daffy. And he goes, and there's Daffy right there.
There's Daffy right there. Ruining the date that Petunia and Porky had planned.
And you know what? Porky never really apologizes, does he?
No, he doesn't. He stands her up to go after Daffy.
Well, he doesn't apologize to Daffy either.
Oh, that either. Well, I mean, they have that moment. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
It's further down the line.
They discover the alien conspiracy, and Daffy is right.
Yes.
In Petunia's lab.
Yes, that's right. They later that night, they meet up with Petunia, and Daffy convinces her to take a look at the gum. And Petunia's like, well, yeah, any excuse to tell the truth about how boring this flavor is. And then it goes into like this almost John Carpenter's The Thing, like slapstick segment with this big gum monster trying to kill them. I love it so much. It's such a beautifully animated sequence with this fluid gum monster chasing after them with, there's a scene that reminds me of the kids hiding in the kitchen in Jurassic Park where they're hiding behind the lab table and the eye comes around, and there's a lot of really great gags. Love it.
We can't spoil too many of them for you because that's what this movie is full of gags.
It's full of gags.
It's full of gags that are very, very fun to watch, and they are funny.
Yeah.
That's one thing that remember when cartoons could be funny?
I know, right?
You remember when cartoons were fun to watch?
Yeah,
This is wow.
yeah,
This is like being a kid again and being transported to theaters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They determined that Petunia's she has like this egg thing.
Yeah, the rotten egg mixture can make people spit out the gum.
Yes.
Yes, and then they can burn the gum. But Porky's worried that Daffy will screw it up, so he manufactures a reason for Daffy to stay behind.
He gets rid of all the eggs.
He gets rid of all the eggs. They can't make any more of that rotten egg mixture unless Daffy lays more eggs.
Daffy lays eggs.
Daffy lays eggs.
Daffy has a uterus.
Transmask duck. Okay. So yeah, and they have that great little montage set to a pop song, which
set to REM.
Set to REM. End of the
world
world
as we know it.
Yep.
Which also brought me back to my childhood because I love that song.
Oh, that's awesome. And Daffy's put out and that he's stuck back, and so he decides, screw this mission. I'm gonna go have fun with Porky and Petunia, and we're going to all work together. And then he, of course, screws everything up
because he's Daffy.
And in getting away, partially Porky's fault. I'm not going to go through the whole reasoning why. It's getting just too deep in the weeds. Petunia gets kidnapped and taken up to the ship. And it is after Porky and Daffy are taken up to go up to the ship to rescue her. They get captured and put in a cage, and they have that reconciliation moment where they apologize to each other with some of the best visual gags. Also, possibly a reference to an internet meme. I don't know if you caught that.
I didn't. I might have caught it at the time when I was in the theater, but I've forgotten its sense.
When Daffy gets part of his body slammed in the car door.
I don't know that meme.
Okay. Yeah, we could probably say this. This probably isn't too raunchy, but there's an internet meme that's like parodying Parappa the Rapper, and it's got Daffy Duck saying that he slammed his penis in the car door. And then there's a scene where a car out of nowhere appears, so this doesn't seem unintentional, and Daffy slams his head in it. And I'm like, that really seems like a deliberate reference to that meme, and I'm very happy about it.
Well, this movie is not above taking up a few pot shots for the adults.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's Looney Tunes. They always have.
Yeah, they always
have.
So
yeah, this feels right in there because the car comes out of nowhere, right? They had to literally just say like, "There's a car here now," just to have a joke of Daffy slamming his head in the car door when they could have done any form of self-abuse. That would have been funny, but it had to be a car door, and it had to be him slamming himself in it.
And man, we're talking about a movie in which Daffy Duck twerks.
Yeah. That was a little bit cringy, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. I can get over that very quickly.
Yeah. So they get out of the cage, and then they learn that the alien bad guy actually just wants to save the Earth from an incoming asteroid,
which they ruined by popping the giant bubble that the gum created.
Yes, and the alien wanted to do this because Boba.
I don't even like Boba Teal that much.
I don't know a single person who does.
My girlfriend loves it.
Really?
That's the reason why I've had it is because I've tasted it with her, and I only have the cookies and cream flavor, and it's like this is pretty tasty. It'd be a lot better without the snot balls on it.
So Petunia and the scientist guy get freed from the alien influence, and they concoct a plan to blow up the asteroid. And blow up the asteroid, pretty much end of the movie there.
But not without Daffy and Porky holding each other and sacrificing themselves.
Yes. Oh my god, it was so cute.
In the sequence that was, which must have been inspired by Michael Bay's
Armageddon. Yes, it was definitely Armageddon.
They should have had Aerosmith playing in the background.
Yeah, I mean, they probably spent a lot of money on REM, so I don't blame them.
Well, this movie was only $15 million.
Oh, God.
And it looks great for $15 million.
Stunning. Absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers cartoons were known for their detailed animation and how great the cartoons look. Even after all this time, you'd be hard pressed to find a cartoon that's had that much work and care put into it.
And there's so much love in this movie.
so much. Like,
Oh God.
Ketchup Entertainment, the guys that made this film.
They only picked up the rights to distribute.
Really?
Yes. Originally, this movie was supposed to come out in 2022 as an HBO Max exclusive.
Mm.
And then Zaslav took over the company and started axing
Everyone
projects.
boo that man.
Yes, boo that man. And everyone started axing projects left and right. And of course, Day the Earth Blew Up was axed. And Ketchup Entertainment purchased the rights to distribute. And they are also looking at purchasing the rights to distribute Coyote versus Acme.
Which, if the stars align and everything goes right, we will be able to see that movie. But that's a big if.
Really hoping. Next year is when they would probably release it if they got the rights. Fingers crossed that will be happening. And actually, I heard a rumor, and this is very unsubstantiated. This is like, sources say and all that Warner Brothers is looking at selling the entire Looney Tunes IP.
I'll buy it.
I know, right? And I'm thinking, what the hell are they thinking, right?
I'll start an Indiegogo and I'll buy it.
I know, right? It's literally like their most recognizable IP. Like, I understand that Harry Potter's probably more profitable, that, the DC movies are probably more profitable, but they're not nearly as recognizable
and as historical and beloved as all these characters.
They've lasted 90 years in the public consciousness. They've waxed and waned, but they've been around 90 years.
And for all that time, what have we done with them? I mean, we've given them Space Jam.
I liked Back in Action. I know no one else does. I mean, the production team behind this at Warner Brothers Animation, they did a underappreciated streaming series called Looney Tunes Cartoons, which is still on Max. If you have Max, watch that before they take it down, because they've taken down all the original Looney Tunes shorts. This is probably next on the chopping block. They will probably take it down. Watch them now. They are just as good as this movie.
I still need to see those. You've told me about them, and I made it a priority. Okay, it's not that much of a priority,
right.
But I made it. I put it on my to-do list. I have to watch it.
Yeah, they are just like this movie, but obviously there's a lot more because it's got 4 seasons, I think.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and I don't think they're making any more, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe if Looney Tunes or if Warner Brothers sells the IP, the guys currently working on those Looney Tunes cartoons or who worked on Day the Earth Blew Up can jump ship to whoever has it now, and they can continue that series because it was stellar. It's exactly like this movie was. It is classic Looney Tunes. Porky and Daffy are frequently paired because they make a great comic duo. Porky is really fun to watch get frustrated, and Daffy is really fun to watch go crazy and over the top.
Can I share something that I wrote about this?
Oh, absolutely.
In the hellish landscape that is today, we need films like this. We need something uncompromising in its ambition, yet simplistic in its story and themes. Something that takes us back to a happier, more innocent time that revels not in nostalgia, but the stories and genuineness that made those times worth living in. This film could have easily been direct-to-video schlock turned out to appease nobody but corporate executives with an agenda to fulfill. Instead, we get a roller coaster of beloved characters doing what they do best, make us laugh. And that's all that Farmer Jim ever wanted.
Oh, Farmer Jim. Oh, and Farmer Jim at the end appears in the clouds in a wonderful reference to The Lion King, which I greatly appreciated.
Turn the picture over.
And it's a home insurance policy that covers alien invasions. Yes.
That is Looney Tunes logic.
For $5 million.
Which might be how much the Looney Tunes are going for these days.
Who knows? Maybe. Jesus, that's
someone please save the Looney Tunes.
Yes, please save the Looney Tunes. There is one thing that after the movie I kind of wish they did, and I think this would have been a great post-credit scene. Did you actually stick after the credits?
I did.
Okay, so you saw what they had. They just had Daffy and Porky show up and say, "We want a sequel," which probably will never happen, unfortunately.
Very unfortunately.
But what I would have loved to see, and what I was kind of like holding out for, was for it to be revealed in a post-credit scene that Marvin the Martian sent the asteroid to Earth and was disappointed that the crisis was averted and that the Earth was saved.
Where was the earth-shattering kaboom?
Exactly! Oh, that would have been so funny. But I guess I should just be making Looney Tunes shorts.
I just really like the fact that Bugs Bunny doesn't show up in this cartoon.
I know, right? They kept it really focused on their characters that they wanted to focus on.
Well, it's not just that. Not that I have anything against Bugs Bunny, because everyone loves Bugs Bunny. He is probably one of the most marketable characters, one of the most easily recognizable characters in the world. He's right there with Mickey Mouse, and they didn't use him because he didn't need to be in this movie.
Right. He wouldn't have had anything to do.
Exactly. And they didn't cheapen the brand.
Yeah.
By you see this? You recognize this? Come get a ticket. No. It's Daffy and it's Porky and it's Petunia. Yeah. And that's all we need.
Yeah, there are actually no other Looney Tunes characters in this entire movie. It's just
no cameos, no references.
No references, just Porky, Daffy, and Petunia Pig. They're also the only animal characters, period. So yeah.
Yeah, they're only like talking animal characters, and that's par for the course with Looney Tunes.
Right. You generally had them interacting with a predominantly human cast if they needed to interact with any other characters, which of course, you have a lot of them that don't. But yeah, and this movie is a miracle, and we will probably not see its like again.
I was just thinking about about Bugs Bunny not appearing.
Yeah.
And the creativeness that came into this. And he even has meta commentary on reboots and things like that. Yeah. Someone worked very hard to get this movie made. Yeah. Someone worked even harder to get it into theaters.
Oh, yeah. Ketchup Entertainment deserves all the appreciation for making this happen. Because, it was just going to be flat not released. Period. And then Ketchup Entertainment's like, we'll purchase it. We'll release it in theaters. I don't know who they are. I don't know if they've done anything else worth knowing about, but holy crap.
They're like the second coming of Cartoon Christ.
I know, right? And hopefully they'll do the same with Coyote vs. Acme. Ever since I heard that concept, I've been all over it. I do have something else I want to bring up, a fun story. And I told you a little bit about this, but I didn't go into detail. I actually had to see this movie twice.
Yes.
Because the first time I saw it, and I picked a good time. I was going to be like, I'm going to see it in the morning at 11 a.m. It's going to be like going to see a Saturday morning cartoon. That was kind of the perfect vibe to approach this movie. But unfortunately, there was some technical issues at the theater, and I didn't get the majority of the soundtrack.
Which is a shame because this movie
it's called the Looney Tunes.
It has excellent sound design.
It does.
And music in the background for you.
And so also apparently in that soundtrack that was missing, there was also some sound effects that were missing too. So like for instance, I didn't get most of the lyrics in the REM montage. The end credits were pretty much silent. That factory montage set to that famous song, whatever it's called.
I don't remember.
No one knows what it's called. But if you heard it, you know what I'm talking about. And that montage was like only the backing like rhythm section to that song. It was just really underwhelming. And I'm like, there's something wrong here. And as a result, I found that the movie really dragged in its final third, which I thought is really interesting in hindsight, because when I saw it again later that night, it did not have that problem. It had exactly the pacing and momentum it needed. And that really goes to show that music can carry a movie's momentum. And that where originally felt like, I've sat here for an hour, the main like bubblegum crisis has been resolved, and now this meteor's coming in, and I just feel like I want the movie to be over now. Because yes, the Looney Tunes are funny. Yes, I'm having fun, but this feels like it's gone on too long. But yeah, when I saw it again, that night, because I just went to another showing at like 9 p.m. And with the whole music score, it was like seeing a whole different movie with how much more fast-paced it was and how much more fun it was. It was fantastic.
I mean, what can we criticize about this movie? I mean, we can criticize the fact that when you first saw it, the sound was off.
Right, but that's
not the filmmaker's
theater's problem.
That's the theater's problem.
And honestly, it did occur to me that I might be able to get a refund or at least a replacement ticket, but I didn't, because I want this movie to make as much goddamn money as possible.
Support theaters.
Support theaters. Support movies like this. People complain that there are no original movies. It's all just sequels and franchise movies because nobody sees them. Among other things. But nobody sees them.
Take a deep breath. Okay, we're good. All right, feeling a bit better?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody sees these movies that people say they want. You want these movies, you go see them.
Okay, now that we've had our intervention with the world, let's get back to the movie.
I mean, what's more to talk about?
I like Petunia's character.
Yeah, Petunia was a very enjoyable character.
Petunia's great. I can't but feel like she was kind of female archetype.
I mean, yeah, but complaining that the Looney Tunes are archetypes seems a little strange to me.
I mean, just that, like, she doesn't have too much of an arc, and she at the end she discovers a new bubblegum flavor.
Yeah, that's really her arc, is searching for the one missing ingredient, finds the one missing ingredient.
I don't know. I guess part of me wants her to take up more screen time because I like her.
Yeah, I could see that.
A part of me wants her to have a more prominent role in the story because she's a female cartoon character, and we don't get that many of those.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I feel like that would almost dilute the movie because it has such a strong focus.
That's true. I mean, this isn't her movie though.
Right. And even the movie has a traditional Looney Tunes title card with Porky and Daffy in The Day the Earth Blew Up. Yeah.
And even at the end credits, you have that's all, folks.
Yeah, exactly. God, it's such a perfect movie. I liked that the title properly telegraphed its many, many references to 50s sci-fi. Mm. I've always been a fan of 50s sci-fi. Day the Earth Stood Still, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Those are the two big ones that I remember. I think I saw a couple others back when I was a kid, but
and War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds, absolutely. So I really appreciated the scientist character being obviously one of those 50s sci-fi movie scientist characters. He even does the thing that the masculine character does in those 50s movies where another character, usually a woman, is being hysterical and slaps him across the face and says, "Get a hold of yourself!" Which was a cute reference, and of course did it with the alien, which was a fun switcheroo. Because the alien was freaking out about not getting his boba. And slaps him and says, "Get a hold of yourself!" So that was a cute reference. And how the scientist was also explosives happy, as it seems like every 50s scientist solution to everything was nukes back in the 50s.
And the aliens, we don't have any nukes. We don't have any bombs. We don't have anything.
We're not a dumb species that carries bombs everywhere. It's like, yes! I love it. And also a nice, cool reference to the Day the Earth Stood Still, where the aliens were, all peaceful and highly evolved, despite the fact that they planned on blowing up the Earth anyway. But that's besides the point.
That's... Well, I dare any alien to look at us and go, I don't want to blow up that planet. That planet's not full of assholes.
These people deserve to live. Oh, I made myself sad. It was sort of like, the way I saw it was actually as a sort of hybrid of The Day the Earth Stood Still and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They even have a deliberate reference to the 70s version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So they do that thing at one point, and yeah. And also Daffy being portrayed as hysterical is in line with the Kevin McCarthy character, whose name escapes me, in the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is a good movie if you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the original. I've seen the 70s remake.
The 70s remake is better.
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, getting off tangent, but yeah, the original is very much a conservative movie of the era, so... Because it's all anti-communist.
Well, the 70s was pretty much as well, too.
Yeah. So yeah, it also has the whole, like, hysterical woman trope in it, and yeah, it's a good movie for a 50s sci-fi movie, because they're all pretty similar. If you've seen one, you kind of know what you're getting into.
Okay, here's a question. What was your favorite gag from The Day the Earth Blew Up? Because mine was when they're at the factory, and Porky's like, "We found a job that we can finally work." And Daffy looks at the camera and goes, "As long as the plot doesn't twist." And
that was a good one.
And underneath him, there's some text that reads,
"Foreshadowing."
Perfect.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a really good one. There's so many good ones.
Well, the thing about trying to critique a movie like this is that it runs on Looney Tunes logic.
Yeah.
Anything I can bring up to critique it is like, well, that's what happens in Looney Tunes cartoons.
Right. It so perfectly does Looney Tunes cartoons.
there's no way this movie could be any more Looney Tunes. This is
not really.
It's as if Chuck Jones came back from the dead and was like, I'm going to make a feature-length cartoon.
Yeah, no, this is a movie that would have made Chuck Jones very proud.
He wouldn't have complained about this one like he did Space Jam.
Yeah. It wasn't compromised like Back in Action was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still puzzling over that favorite gag question.
Take your time. Take your time.
Oh,
Because I know. I just asked you a big question and then a lot to search through.
I really should have seen that question.
Sorry, I shouldn't have dropped that on you.
Honestly, I think it might be when Daffy and Porky are trapped in the alien's cage and they're crying. It does a close up on Daffy's eyes, and you see the Hoover Dam and the breaks. I love a good visual pun like that.
Yes.
And it was just so beautiful. Zoomed in, Hoover Dam in his eyes, breaks, and just water out of his eyes.
And it sort of becomes a plot point when they're crying, destroys the laser field that they're trapped in.
Freeze them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, such a fantastic movie.
Maren, would you recommend The Day the Earth Blew Up?
Yes. See it as many times as you can afford.
Take out a loan. Take out a goddamn loan.
Seriously, we need more movies like this. Oh.
I would definitely recommend it as well. I thought that it was a fantastic time in theaters. I guess the only thing I'm worried about is its target audience. Because how many animation buffs are there? How many people just love the Looney Tunes like we do?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, considering that it hasn't brought back its budget yet, but it's gotten millions of viewers. It's gotten millions of.
I think it's got it like 8 million in its gross now.
Yeah, right now.
Which isn't too bad for what it is, and the fact that it got like no advertising,
none whatsoever, because it was distributed without Warner Brothers.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's the first Looney Tunes project to be distributed outside of Warner Brothers as well.
History in the making.
Yep, it is, and it's probably not going to be the last. Because hopefully Coyote versus Acme. I was thinking about the demographics of the Looney Tunes, and I don't think Warner Brothers knows who watches Looney Tunes. Because I read that the reason they took off the original shorts was because they wanted to focus on adult and family programming.
But it's Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes is like the definition of adult and family entertainment.
Exactly. I think that they think Looney Tunes is for preteens.
It can be.
I mean, yeah, sure, it's fine for preteens.
It's not exclusively for preteens.
No, it's not. And honestly, I guarantee you, the vast majority of people who watch Looney Tunes are over the age of 20.
If it's on, I'll watch it.
Absolutely. I guarantee the vast majority of people who watch Looney Tunes are over the age of 20, because the only people watching it are people over the age of 20 and the kids that they've put in front of it.
Yes.
Because kids aren't seeking Looney Tunes out in 2025.
No.
They might enjoy it if it's on while they're in the room, but they're not like going out of their way to see if there's any Looney Tunes on HBO Max. Or whatever streaming service that they happen to be looking at. So yeah, and I think that honestly Warner Brothers could take a thing or two from Disney, and Disney doesn't market Mickey Mouse to kids really.
They have I have nieces and nephews, so yeah. I've seen the things they do market towards kids, and they do have like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and
okay, I guess they still do
the Minnie Mouse shorts that they're making.
But anyway, Warner Brothers needs to realize that Looney Tunes is a very broad family demographic and not for kids or millennials. It's a much broader thing.
Kind of like the Muppets.
Yes, they're very much like the Muppets. Because the Looney Tunes cartoons were shown before movies in the 30s and 40s, and there really weren't like kids movies back then.
No.
Not like today where there's movies where you just, okay, I'm going to take my kid to this and I guess they'll have fun while I take a nap. You know, you didn't have kids movies like you have in Minions movies these days. Because I mean, sure, you could take your 10-year-old to The Day the Earth Stood Still back in 1950, and they'd probably have fun. But it wasn't a movie for kids because they didn't really have that.
Can I go on a tangent here?
Mm-hmm.
I need to go on a tangent.
Okay.
Kids movies are not the same as crap movies.
Yes.
Because I've seen a couple movies last year that were animated. They had some child audiences to them, and they weren't very good. And some people were like, "Well, what do you expect? It's a kids movie." No, fuck you.
Yeah, no, I hate that. Kids deserve good entertainment.
And some of the best movies of all time have child audiences. Let's look at everything that Pixar's ever done.
Oh yeah.
Look at E.T.
Oh yeah.
For instance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and also I'm going to quote famous YouTuber, Star Wars, movies about space wizards intended for children. Patrick H. Willems gets all the credit for that.
All right.
Star Wars is a franchise of movies about space wizards intended for children. Hear that, 30-year-olds complaining about The Last Jedi? Intended for children. Okay.
I was making a face at the...
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway. That's my soapbox.
You know, and this is my soapbox too.
Yeah.
Because then you have movies like The Day the Earth Blew Up,
right?
And those are these have child audiences too. Although it's again, like you said earlier, it's probably people over 20 seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not inappropriate for kids.
It's not.
Take your kids to see them. Have a good time with it. I'm not sure they'll enjoy it as much as we enjoyed it.
Sure,
but they'll have a good time.
They'll have a good time. It's bright. It's colorful. There's no like incredibly off-color jokes.
No.
I mean, the closest you get is that tangential reference to an internet meme that is obviously
that
disguised
flew over my head
and is disguised well enough that if the kid knows about it, it's because they've already seen it online.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. But yeah, no, I can't even think. I mean, honestly, it's even less edgy than some of the old Warner Brothers shorts.
And when you have movies like this, people don't think of them as kids' movies.
Yeah.
They think of them just as good movies. And kids' movies can be great. Stop expecting crap for kids.
Absolutely. See The Bad Guys. It's good. See Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. It's good.
That was great. And also see The Wild Robot too.
Oh God, The Wild Robot was gorgeous.
That was my favorite movie of last year.
Oh yeah, I believe it. It was a beautiful, gorgeous movie.
And it almost brought me to tears. A kid's movie almost brought me to tears, guys.
Okay, this is getting wildly off topic, but I don't care because we're on a soapbox here. I think The Last Robot is better than WALL-E. Or The Wild Robot, my bad, is better than WALL-E.
You know, that's a controversial... I don't disagree with that.
I think, here's even going a step further, I think it does everything WALL-E did, but better.
I'm going to think about this one.
Okay, on my soapbox. So we have the director of WALL-E, who is stated in the commentary, that at least it's on the Criterion Collection edition, which I have, because I'm a snob. I don't know if that's on other editions, but it's on the Criterion Collection edition. He says that the environmental message in WALL-E was not his main focus. His main focus in the movie was how love can overcome programming. And I think he screwed up because I didn't get that at all. I got a big fat environmental message out of that movie. You know what I got out of The Wild Robot? Love can overcome programming. Because she literally reprograms herself into being a good mother. And you know what else I got? A subtle environmental message that wasn't taking over the whole theme of the movie.
That's... I will say this, though, that The Wild Robot had several years on WALL-E to learn from Pixar and grow from it.
And I also think Wild Robot was a prettier movie.
Oh, well, yeah.
WALL-E was a more high fidelity and realistic and tangible kind of movie, but The Wild Robot was way better looking.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what happens when you have years of progress on top of years of progress.
True.